What's going on, everybody? We are back with a brand new episode of Swerve City Podcast. I don't even know what episode this is. From what y'all wrote on YouTube, I don't even know if that's like correct. You said 40? Somebody wrote 40. Episode 40. I don't even know if we had 40 meetings together as friends, let alone 40 episodes. But we have another brand new one, bro. Monteasy Scott right here, the partner, backing me up as always. What's going on?
What's going on, man? I am doing very well, man. You know, energy's good. First of all, before we do anything, before he gets into the introduction, let's get a standing ovation for this man here having his first live concert, man.
Let's go!
Yes, sir. I gotta say that. This man had his first live show. We rocked the stage. Janice Live, shout out to Strizzo. Shout out to all the DJs, coalitions that came out there and supported us. That I grew up 10 minutes down from that venue, watched everybody and their mama perform. So to be able to even have 20 minutes to do it was amazing.
2 nights.
2 nights in a row. The first night, we killed it. They said, come back. They told us to come back like 7 times. Like, well, we'll be back.
Okay.
And it was great, man. And man, the energy is great, man. The energy is great.
It's awesome. It's good to finally get that badge of honor as a performer. Music. I never thought I would be able to do it, but that's the whole point of Swerve City and what we do. Our movement. Do some things that we've always been afraid to do. Like I said, I spoke about this so many times on this show. Check it out on the YouTube. Check it on WWE Network. I've talked about it. Like, don't manifest those feelings of things that you want to do that you are so afraid, and people always doubt it and think it's like weird. Open up that chest and let the things come out. Let those dreams, let those fears come out, and actually try to accomplish those things. You'll be surprised how comfortable you are when you're in those settings. You know. So that's what I'm about. I want to try some more things. I want to try some more performances. I got the bug. He told me I was going to get it, the performance bug. So we in Florida, there's a lot more opportunities coming the way. So without further ado, we got to bring it to the guest of the evening. The whole reason we here, the whole reason all these people. Look at it setting. Look at the energy. I love it. It's good. Feel it in your gut, your spirit.
Inhale it.
Yes. We got the man of the evening, Jon Connor, in the building. Let's a round of applause once again. Once again. Round of applause for Jon Connor being in here.
Appreciate it, man.
And I remember watching your stuff in like XXL, the freshman dog. And I was me and my homie Ian. Shout out Ian.
Shout out to Ian.
We never talk about you on the show, never again. But
what's up? What's up to Ian, man?
And when you invite me to 2K, I'm not coming.
No. Never again. But yeah, I remember we were in military and we were on our annual training things, and the XXL freestyles came out, and we couldn't really get to it because we were like out in the middle of wilderness, nowhere. Yeah. So we finally got back to the base, and we finally got some signal. So we started watching the freestyles, and we were like, Jon Connor and Jaron Benton murdered it. We was like, yo, this is the ones. These are our dudes. Like Chance was in there too. Chance was the like a huge standout, the star. But man, me and Ian like vibed on Jon Connor and Jaron Benton. So it's a dream of mine. It's like I can't believe it's real that you're in here in the room with us, man. So I just want to say I appreciate you.
Yo, I am humbled. I'm honored, man. I appreciate y'all having me on the show. And, man, that was good time. Shouts to Jaron Ben, too. Yes. But it's like, man, thank you so much. I'm truly humbled, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, man, like before we about to get into this good stuff, but we gotta do the promotion, do the work. Shout out around Seattle.
You know, I said I was gonna do this on live. The most dominant, one of the greatest wordsmiths I've heard in my generation. Wow. This man has taken the elementary English vocab to a whole nother level.
Say that.
This man has taken a flow pattern and cadence to a whole nother level. This man,
come on with it.
When I hear them bars and when I hear him on a 16, 32, 48, whatever you call it, this man is always ripping the beat. This
Shout
man
out SOS.
Has never taken a verse off when a lot of y'all do. This man always holds the standard of what hip hop is. If you guys have not, check out that song that K-Slade put out with the 50 MCs on them. And this guy came in there right in the middle and just ate it, as he always does. This man is keeping the vanguard of what we call hip hop, the true lyricist, holding it down. When it comes to that pen and pad, this man is one of the best, if not the best in the world. This is my guy. I had to give you that from MC to MC, my brother. thank you for being here, dog.
Man, no, thank you.
Man.
That was cut.
Whoa! Omen. We just talking about energy in here.
Yo, that was crazy. That was crazy. That's crazy. My fault. That's
outside the plugs, man. Outside the plugs, but you good? You all right?
I'm good. You know what? I've been through tougher.
Okay.
I've been
we could bleep that out though. For real. At least y'all got moments already.
Hey,
Yeah,
I had to give you that promo shout out.
But yo, no, straight up. And for y'all that's just so this is gonna be they can see this and they're gonna be able to just hear this, right? So
yeah.
Okay, so if you're just listening to this, I just spilled water on myself and it was crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? So we doing maintenance, we doing cleanup right now. But thank you so much, man, for that intro, and thank you, man. Like I just appreciate both of y'all because I have such a love and respect for what y'all do, and so for you guys to have that much love and respect for what I do is crazy. It's truly humbling, and I really appreciate it. And that might be the greatest intro I've ever gotten to anything. So I appreciate it, and I'm gonna give y'all love right back without the spillage this time.
Yes, I'm like, brother.
Also, on the screen here, we have some promotions as well. Make sure you guys, if you guys have not, please check out the double album that we put out in Thanksgiving. We have Swerve City GPS, and we have Monteasy's Erica's Son. Both of these albums came out. Make sure you go to all streaming platforms, Spotify, where you can get his music, and our music as well, for everything that we have going on. Great projects we performed. A lot from these albums, and we put together a lot of.
I wrote till my head hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking right there. Hey, wait till we get into what he's working on. This is what I think I'm working on. And put together, we put together a lot of great material, great feedback, and we're going to get into more of that towards the end of the show. But make sure you guys go to all streaming platforms. Make sure you guys as well subscribe to youtube.com/Swerve City Podcast. Subscribe to us, and that's it, my brother.
That's it. Let's get it rolling, man. Shout out. First of all, what we're going to do, we spoke about this last episode. Dr. Dre was in the hospital, and so the update is that he's doing better.
Yes.
I'm sure you've spoken to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reached out. So what's your interaction with him in recent
times, man? It's crazy. I talked to him all while he was in the hospital, and it was crazy. It was really crazy because from my perspective, we had just spoke probably like 2 or 3 days prior to his situation that happened. Yeah. And I called him, and there was things on my heart. You know how sometimes you just have, something on your chest and you got to call an old friend, call one of your friends and just let them know how you feel. And I got a chance, and I told him, I said, bro, it's things even outside of the studio that you taught me that'll help me eat forever, that'll help me, get revenue, that'll help me, it's information and knowledge that he gave me that I'll pass down to my children one day, and that's going to help them feed their children. And I called him, and it was just on my heart to tell him that. And I'm like, bro, I want to say thank you. Beyond me being signed to Aftermath, beyond record deals, beyond us making records in the studio, I was always appreciative of the friendship and of that part of the journey as well. And it was so crazy that I called him. Like, it was just something on my spirit that told me to call him and tell him that, right? So we have that beautiful conversation. The next day, he ends up in the hospital. And so just for anybody listening to this, if it's ever on your heart to call somebody, if it's ever on your mind to call somebody, a friend or a colleague or somebody you haven't seen in a while, don't ignore that feeling. Don't ignore that intuition, because it's there for a reason. Because then, like I said, 2 days after I called him and we had a beautiful conversation, and after I told him thank you, he like, man, you know what it is. You know what I'm saying? You know what it is with me. You know what I'm saying? And I was actually going to go to California and do some recording with him, but then this happened. Yeah. So when I spoke to him when he was in the hospital, it was a unique experience in that, anytime I ever talked to him, he was always up and chipper and vibrant and full of energy. And it did something to me to hear somebody that is such a strong figure in my life. You know what I'm saying? be in a situation where they can't do all of the things that they want to do in that moment, where, at some point we all have to face our mortality of understanding that we're all human. We can, especially all of us being in show business, we can overwork ourselves. A lot of times in show business, we'll act like sleep is the enemy. We'll act like rest is the enemy.
We hide our pain a lot.
A lot, right?
We suppress it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was like in that moment, talking to Dre while he was in the hospital, it was like, it made me think to myself, let me make sure, they say these days health is wealth, and it is.
Very much.
So that's something that we all got to keep on our minds. But just to answer your direct question, he was good. He was in good spirits. One thing people don't know about Dre is he has a really good sense of humor. And so, like, just talking to him on the phone, hearing that same, even though he was laying down in the hospital bed, it was still the same Dre. It was still, man, what's up, man? You good? You all right? You know what I'm saying? It was still the same sense of humor. It was still that same energy. You know what I'm saying? It's right. Represented by the gangsters all across the world. Still. So as he, when he was in the hospital, like I said, it was difficult just to hear him in that moment be vulnerable, but it was also reassuring to hear that even in that moment of vulnerability, to still hear strength. You know what I'm saying? Yes. To still have a sense of humor in such a crazy situation, in such a trying time for him. And it was cool. Like I said, I talked to him probably like 3-4 times while he was in the hospital. And man, every time I talked to him, his spirits was good. His energy was good. He was optimistic about everything. And now he's out. So everything went well. And love to my big bro, Dr. Dre, man.
Man, I feel like he's like not just like yours and people that directly have contact with him. He is like everybody's like big brother, uncle, father to like music and like culture. Especially like our culture. That's like our big brother, big uncle. So we felt that. And we was like, man, if like this whole world had a way to reach out to him, I'm pretty sure we would. Like send flowers and all that stuff. But man, like I definitely feel like he's just connected and created that spider web of networking to like what we are, that foundation of what we have today in music and this culture and like West Coast. That man is West Coast. Absolutely. Like you look at him, that's all you see.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, that's like, oh man,
the architect of this thing we do. You know what I'm saying? The architect, and that's a cool picture, man. That's what's up.
That's your Instagram, bro.
Yeah. I posted that on my Instagram.
That's how you know you busy, bro.
Right? Yeah, that's
we do our research. We gonna find it.
I appreciate that, but yeah, that's a cool picture of me and Big Homie, man. But yeah, he's doing great, and like you said, just man, he means so much to so many people, and it's so great that he's on the road to recovery, especially, like I say, with all of the heartbreak and loss that we went through, all of us, in 2020. You know what I'm saying?
Painful.
That, you know what I'm saying? Lord forbid. So it's like, it's like that right there, him healing, him getting better. I felt like, okay, it was a down moment that he went through it, but I think the fact that he recovered, I think the fact that he's on the up and up, the fact that he, he posted a picture of him back in the studio, I think that boosted the morale, whether he knows it or not, of just all of us collectively that look to him and have looked up to him and have listened to his music. I think that was important for the world to see, to give us that extra bit of hope. Like, you know what? Things can switch in that direction and can take a turn for the better.
Tell me a little bit about this. So as you've built your relationship with him and you're an up-and-coming artist around the time you started working together.
Yeah.
And when you first started making music, I remember when I first started, you go through a certain kind of training. You go through a certain kind of training where you start writing raps and you start working and you start working on your skill. But then you get to the next level. And then you start seeing what that next level of work ethic is. And it was something I remember when me and you were talking, you talked about the Aftermath Academy, basically, of you having to learn the professional part of recording and how that went. Tell me a little bit about that transition from when you first started to working with him and working with somebody that's more meticulous than you are about your own craft. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, because I'm very, and we got my artist Ace Gabbana in the building, and he know how meticulous I am. You know what I'm saying? Shouts to Ace Gabbana.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it's like on my own, I was pretty meticulous, right? I thought I was doing something. Then when I met this cat, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you're watching somebody who has achieved every goal you could possibly think of within the music business, and he still works harder than everybody that's around him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
sound like somebody I know.
I was gonna say, I would imagine, you know, in the stories I've often heard about Vince McMahon or people like Steve Jobs or those people that have reached like the highest levels of their field, they still work harder than everybody in the room.
Outworking everybody.
No sleep. And that's coming from them just having an actual love and a passion for whatever it is that they do. So it's like, I had never experienced that. Like in Flint, and much love to my hometown, Flint, Michigan. It's like I had kind of reached a glass ceiling. It was not to toot my own horn, but I'm just giving my truth, right? Yeah. I was the hardest working person that I had ever met at the time coming out of my city, right? So it was like, so for me, it was like, hey, you almost get kind of like arrogant with it, like, man, I know what I'm doing. Met this cat. I'm talking about from the time he gets there at 2 p.m. till 7 o'clock in the morning and the sun coming up. Dude is a robot. Dude is a machine. It's just him twisting those knobs. And the thing is, he still cares. I think a lot of people might think that, you know, once you get a certain amount of money or a certain amount of perceived success, that your love and your passion goes away for whatever it is that you do. Not with this cat. Like, you know what I'm saying? With this dude, it was amplified times 10. And I think it comes from a place with him of he wants you to get where he's at.
Yeah.
Because those type of people, like you think like a Dre or Vince, how many people can they really have conversations with that understand the things that they went through? So the only way to surround themselves with people like them is to create people like them, to instill that work ethic in you so that you can accomplish those things, so you can feel the same joys and successes and triumphs that they felt at certain points in time. And now when you come back to him and be like, man, I just won my first Grammy. Now it's like, yeah, I'm proud of you. You did that. You know what I'm saying? Or the first time maybe Vince sees a character that he believed in headline Wrestlemania, and you take that belief, the same belief that he had in you, and you take it where it needs to be. Now it opens the door for new conversations. It opens the door for you to keep going higher and higher. So it's like, that's one of the things that I learned from being around his work ethic, that it don't stop. Like, it's not about of course we all do what we do because we want to feed our families. But I feel like, and this goes back to what my mother always told me, she always said, do what you're passionate about for a living. A wise person once said, if you do what you love for a living, you never work a day in your life. Right? So it's like, I think that stands true for cats like Vince, for cats like Dre, for cats like myself, cats like y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, we're doing what we're passionate about. And I got a chance for 5 years during my tenure at Aftermath to watch one of the greatest of all time do what he loves and continue to be passionate about what he loves. And I took, like I say, Aftermath University, man, I took notes, mental notes. I made sure I listened. That's one thing when I'm around certain people, it's like, I'll shut up and just listen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
just talking about this.
Yeah. It's
literally.
like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not about, it's not about the answers that you think you have. It's about the questions that you ask. It's about the times that you know when to be silent as opposed to speaking or raising your hand and being so quick to have the answer. Like, sometimes it's about being quiet, listening to that person who's been where you're trying to go, allow them to feed that information into you so you can grow and you can become that person one day, and then you can give the knowledge back to a younger artist or a younger athlete, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. But yeah, watching that dude was some of the greatest times of my life. You know what I'm saying? I took notes, I listened, I learned. It was a beautiful experience, and man, some of the best times of my life, man.
Dude, it's to me, it's like everybody wants to have the answer right away, and it doesn't always work like that. Especially when they create that question, it's like I don't have the answer, but some people want to just be like, oh yeah, I know that. Like, no, it shouldn't work like that. You shouldn't have the answer. You should. Right. This is the point where you have to study. You have to work. You have to experience. You have to live. You have to fail to figure that answer out. This answer may not come like 2 days from now. It may not come the next time we see each other. It may not come 2 weeks, months. You're going to have to fail a couple times. You're going to have to go through trial and error to figure out these answers for that.
Absolutely.
So, like, when you're saying, like, seeing a mentor, someone like that just, like, you think you never find anybody that works harder than you, and you found your Dre. I feel like Triple H is mine. Like, this man wants everybody to succeed, and he has like all these people from not just in the performance center, seeing like he's still thinking about people overseas in India that he's trying to bring in, people in China, people in Japan, people in all these different countries that he still cares for. And he's like, I didn't forget about you, but got to do this, that, and that. Because he cares. Like, once again, he wants to see his people succeed. He wants to see us main event. He wants to see Bianca Belair win the Royal Rumble because that's what he's instilled in her. He wants the women to do the things that he's done. Main Event of Mania. Create history. People want to see this, their industry grow. You know, it doesn't like, oh, I did it. Now, if the industry stopped tomorrow, I'd be okay. No, Dre doesn't want that. Triple H doesn't want that. These guys want to see us carry on that legacy and make it grow and be bigger than it's ever have been before. And he has to teach us these little lessons to keep that going and going and going. Once again, we're going to figure these out as we go, as we fail, as we figure it out, as we succeed. And once we do succeed, there's another mountain to climb after that. You know, like, my God, is there always another mountain to climb?
Absolutely.
Bro, like,
the rabbit hole is endless.
Yeah, like, I didn't want to be the best wrestler in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. There was more out there. I'm like, okay, let's try the U.S. Let's try the U.K. Let's try other things.
That's so crazy.
And the way you look at it, too, like, we talk about in relation to sports, right? We look at it as in you have, let's say, you know, you were in Flint, Michigan, and you're on, like, we're going to use this as a basketball analogy. You're scoring 29 points, you're an all-star. But at some point, you're like, okay, I'm the best player on the team, and I'm like, I might be not
even touching playoffs.
Right, not touching playoffs. Or, you know, I'm a seed and we're lucky. You know what I mean? Like, but you're talented. You're extremely talented, and you're an all-star every year. As in, like, me, being here in Florida, working, me and Siren, the camera guy, we've known each other decade plus, and knowing how motivated he was in camera work and me in music, and just feeling like, you know, nobody was really working like us and how we did things. You know what I mean? We got around each other, we started working, and then when I met him, I was like, okay, I'm really not working hard enough. Because, you know, because somebody was matching my energy and how I work. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is how it is when someone is like there with you and he's in a better position than you. And it's like saying, oh, okay, this is what it takes. I had the work ethic. I just had to be around someone that could match it, because that's very, very hard to find with people, and having people that, one, match the energy, and two, stay motivated to match the energy, because it's getting it and then there's keeping it. And I think that, you know, when I teamed up with him, the whole perspective changed, because we push each other. There's not one time I can't depend on him and vice versa. If he needs something, I'll take care of it, and vice versa. So that's when you learn about working around other people. Like, my mentor is Sharmello Durant. He produced for Busta Rhymes and Public Enemy, and they all work
legends.
Together. Legends. And he pushed me. I know you probably, I don't know if you went through this in your training, in your warrior training, but
Sensei.
Yeah, but in my warrior training, I would freestyle to him on the phone for 20 minutes, and he would tell me, like, okay, what's next? I'd be on the phone, I'd be rapping my heart out. I think I'm killing it. I'm like Cassidy over here.
Bruh, I definitely got a story to tell you.
Oh, please. Please. And he'd be like, and then what? I'd be like, huh? He's like, okay, you can rap, but can you write a song? Can you formulate music? Can you? Okay. He's like, I know 15 million people on the block like you. We put a beat on, go in the middle of the street right here. Great, you killed the cipher. But if I get you in the studio, can you write a song?
Yep.
Bro, I had to fight Matt Riddle for 30 minutes for that championship. 30 minutes. Sweat, like, blood, everything for that championship. I come through the back, Sammy Callahan is like, yeah, just one little thing. I'm like, oh my God. Confetti fell from the sky. Yeah. Low key in the back, like, it was good, but man, there's like a couple things. I'm like, oh, it never ends. It never ends.
You know what? For me, it was the first time I ever heard the phrase, just because you're finished doesn't mean you're done.
That never manifested with me till like around 31 years old. Amen. I was like, oh, this makes sense now.
Now it makes sense.
This makes so much sense.
It's crazy, man. One funny story, I'm not embarrassed or ashamed to tell this story. So since we're telling funny stories about thinking when we the young grasshopper, you know what I'm saying, and the older, wiser grasshopper got to kind of stop us in our tracks, right? So I remember being in the studio with Dre, and when I first got there, it's like I can write records really fast, right? So I'm thinking, okay. I'm finished. Like, okay, I did it. Dre, I remember I wrote a record and Dre said to me, he was like, John, just say it out loud. And if it doesn't make sense, if it was a conversation, then it's wrong. And I started reading it. I said, yeah, this sounds pretty dumb. He said, yeah, you're not done. I'm like, but I needed that. But I needed that.
Amen.
Because mind you, I'm coming from, I'm in Flint, I'm the man. I can do anything. I'm doing this. You need that person that's going to push you. You need that. First of all, like in what you were speaking on, healthy competition is so necessary because you can become complacent.
Amen.
You need people like, because it's the difference. In show business, people always talk about not wanting to become yes men, right? There's also a thing that I've experienced called no men, where people try to prove how real they are by telling you no all the time. So you want to try to find somebody who's just being honest, right? Yeah. And that their opinions are coming from a place of love and wanting to see you grow, right? And I think that that's what that was in that moment with me and Dre, where he's like, read it out loud. And if it sounds silly, if you read it out loud, then that ain't it. And I needed that. It was coming from a place of, I love you. I don't want you to embarrass yourself. So you take that back. You know what I'm saying? Go reread that, go tighten it up, and then I'm going to tell you when it's right. It's that type of tough love that makes us better. We need that. Sometimes we push and we fight it, and we don't want that because all of us got a little bit of ego in us, right? You have to. You have to. At some point, we all had to have an ego to be like, I'm good enough, right? So now as you're reaching these different levels of good enough, now you're reaching other people. And like you said, now it's starting to the spectrum is starting to get wider and wider, right? So now I'm good enough in Flint, but now are you good enough in Michigan? Okay, you're good enough in Michigan, but now are you good enough in the Midwest? Okay, you're good enough in the Midwest, but now are you good? You're right. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger. And there has to be those people because everybody, whether you're a sports entertainer, whether you're an MC, all of these people are coming for your head. These people that as this getting wider, they went through the same test that you did. So they just as much of a savage as you are at whatever it is that you do.
It's the Olympics.
It is.
It's the Olympics,
and
man.
You need that older, wiser person that out of love is going to tell you, you need that Mickey on Rocky, go get him, you lousy bum. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You need that guy to tell you when you need to push yourself. And I think that that's what's interesting. Like when you said, when you got back to the dressing room after winning the title, where it was like, what was this one more thing? Mm-hmm. Those people, like you said, all they want and all they care about is improving the industry that they love. So if by correcting you or if agitating you a little bit is going to push you to be better that next time, that's all they wanted in the first place.
Sometimes it's that ninja mentality. They just sniped you enough to just
make enough.
It just in the sticks there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dang, he assassinated me in the mind. And it's going to it could be 3 months later. I'm like, why you bring that up in that match, man?
Right.
But
now when I'm doing something else and like now it's there.
It's already there.
Instilled into you. It's already instilled into me now. Like, now I know because it irritated me for so long and it stuck to me. So I'm never gonna make that mistake again.
And you see that, and real quick, I just want to say because I won't get long winded, but just to give you confirmation on the point that you're making, it's like, bruh, right in my situation, and same as with yours. Dre didn't tell me it was whack. You feel me? See, it was just enough to be like, So now when I write something, it's like, now let me just read this to myself. It wasn't, that's whack, that's terrible. No, it's not. Because if you were horrible, if it was whack, you wouldn't be there.
Yep.
Right? So now I'm just trying to fine tune you. Now I'm trying to give you those little twos and fews to make you a legend. And that's what that was. That's what Swerve, it's that little, you know what I'm saying? And they can see it in us. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And so it's on us to, a phrase at the studio. When you walk in Dre's studio, it's a phrase in there that says, your ego is not your amigo, right? And so that's what that is. If you put your ego aside and take the criticism for what it's supposed to be, which is making you a better artist, entertainer, performer, recording artist, then that's what you'll be if you get out of your own way.
you've preached to the choir because when you work with other people, you get around successful folks, right? You start to see this, and you start working with people, and you start realizing what your relationship is with other people when you're working with someone or motivating people. Like Swerve, like let's use Swerve for example. I'll just use me and him for an example. I use music for example. Me is challenging me to try other things, other lanes, and other levels of myself that one I haven't done in a long time or never tried. And for me, is to kind of be like, for him, is to kind of be like the Mr. Miyagi that's calm, like, oh, bro, you got it. You got this. You know what I mean? And more calm him and just keep him in a calm perspective so when he goes in the studio, he's not overthinking it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But there's been days I'm like, come on, what do you think? He's like, oh, you good? I trust you. I'm like, and now I'm like,
right.
I'm like, but he wanted me to trust my work too,
right?
At the same sense, he wanted me to like truly believe, like go in there, do it with confidence, like you do everything, like you do wrestling with confidence. You can go out there and do it,
absolutely.
And do that with the music. And it took me like the second album to really understand what he was doing. He's like, you got it. And I'm like, but I don't know. So like he's just making me figure out like my own work and like really believe in it.
That's awesome.
Because you don't want to do like with anything. You don't want to stifle someone's creativity.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be in here telling him what he's got to figure out his own art. You know what I mean? He's got to figure out his own lane, how he wants to rap, how he wants to do it. And sometimes you gotta let people grow. You gotta let people figure it out. You know what I mean? Like I always told him, I'm here if you need me. If you really need me, I'm here. But when we're in the studio, go in there, try different things. I don't say a word. I let him just figure it out. And if he really needs my opinion,
the silence irks me too.
I know it does. But it's how it's kind of like how I learn too, because if I like we'll come up with something, and if I give my opinion, we'll write something together, I'll do it. But a lot of times I just try to give him that chance to kind of be free and to kind of feel it, because I feel like if I had that kind of in studio kind of feeling, that's kind of like, man, how I'm gonna do this? Because I know sometimes you get stuck or you feel stumped, and it's just grinding you, it's just pushing you to that next level for you to figure it out. And then you hear this next album when he figured it out, and that's when I was like, okay,
yes,
I was like, all right, what you got, dog? Okay, let's do it.
But it definitely was a whole different experience, because now I was bringing it to him. I'm like, oh boy, this next one. Yeah. Get ready.
Yeah. And I was waiting for it. I was waiting for him to take my head off. I was waiting.
That is so dope. But that's so dope. That bond, that relationship, that feeding off of each other. We see it so many times in history, and I commend y'all for having that, because that's so important. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, just that energy to be able to bounce back and forth off of, to where you trusted him and you trusted him in order for whatever was supposed to manifest. So that's awesome. Like, I'm a huge wrestling mark, so I'm gonna definitely make, references. When you hear those stories about like Edge and Christian knowing each other for how long they knew each other, and they supported each other that whole time. When you look back and you talk about the Hollywood Blondes, I'm talking about behind the scenes with Steve Austin and Brian Pillman and their friendship and how they fed off of each other. It's like, it is the same. It's so many similarities in all of these different, genres of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there are certain elements of it that remain the same. You're going to need somebody like that, like I said, the Mr. Miyagi that's going to teach you. You're going to need that homeboy, that friend, that other person that's doing what you do, and y'all have a genuine love for each other. That's how it is with me and Lindsay AI, my man Big Steve, that's in the building with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what, like, the relationship you guys have, like, that's what they are for me. Like, when I'm in the studio, they the ones that's like, come on, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Let's go. Champ.
Yeah, still give him a let's go champ.
Let's go champ.
Yeah. That's what I be hearing in the studio. Whenever I'm feeling drained, like that let's go champ keep me going.
Hey man, but it's like with me too. Real quick, I'll send something to Mike and I'll send something to Side. Depending on their reactions, I know if it's fire or not.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, it's Mike's eyes. It's Mike's eyes that give it away.
He can't lie.
No, never. It's the initial. It's the initial spark too. Because I'm like, all right, here. I'll literally when I push play, and it's like the first 10 seconds, he goes,
I'm like, all right, it's whack.
Yeah, dog. I'll be like,
Use me in every time.
I know about Mike because I'll send him stuff via email, right? So I'll be like, what you think about this, bro? Because I like to ask people, somebody that doesn't make music, just to gauge their ear. Yeah. And I know his ear is very unique. So I'll send him something, and if I get to, that's dope with the exclamation points, I'm like, cool, I got it. Mm-hmm. If I get, oh, that's tight, fam, that wasn't it.
That wasn't it. Hey, Teasy, it's so real, Teasy. Like, yo, and see, we need that though. Right. We need that.
He's like, oh, that's tight, fam. What? Cool.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, that hook was fire. Like, nah, bro.
No cats.
No fire emoji.
And it hurts your heart. It hurts your heart a little bit. Yes,
we gotta go back to work, bro.
We gotta go back.
But y'all
that wasn't the beat.
Correct, man. That's what Big Steve is. Like, when I send him stuff in the email, it's either gonna be "Let's go, champ" or nothing at all. If it's nothing at all, I be the sad puppy dog. Like, hey, Steve, man, like, you ain't rock with that. I be calling for the update. Like, dog, it was that whack. Like, but no, you need that. It's either all or nothing with Steve. It's "Let's go, champ" or nothing.
You see Steve in person next time, like, you got the email? Yeah, I got it.
My Wi-Fi worked just fine, bro.
Right.
I paid my bill. I know.
That's when you got to change the subject. Be like, all right.
Like, all right, so you watching Raw tonight? Yeah.
What about that song I sent you? The debate was crazy last night, man. Bruh.
Straight up.
So I want to talk to you about the changes in the industry that you've been seeing lately. We've talked about like the mentor, like just having a foot on the freaking pedal, kicking your ass, and just get motivated. Do you feel like we still have that in a lot of the artists and the music and the like what's going on right now? Because right now I feel like everybody's kind of like learning on their own.
Right.
That's the feel I get. I could be completely wrong. I just don't think there's an OG in the studio sometimes. That's what I'm saying.
And you know what, Swerve? I think what it is with that is when you said learning on their own is because we are in the generation where they literally are, where all it takes nowadays to have a studio, you don't even have to have like a crazy good mic. You could just have a simple mic, a simple recording program, maybe Fruity Loops or something, or even buying or leasing beats off of the internet. And now you making records. Now you in the music business. As where before when we was coming up, you know, I ain't afraid of my age. I'm 35 years old. So when I was coming up,
I'm 33.
Yeah. So you know, so you know, back in our day, there was a craft that we had to learn. You know what I'm saying? It was you had to try to figure out how to get your music to sound like these big studios. Like it wasn't, man, back in my day, like having a studio set up in your house that was crazy. Like that
was multi-$1,000
right.
Like investment.
Exactly.
Now it's like a couple $100. So when you say that, I think that's some grass. You get a studio.
You could get a studio. But that's real though. That's actually true. And I think that's what it is. I don't think that it's a lack of this generation wanting to learn. I don't even like separating it on a generational thing. I just think that you got kids that want to make music. It's accessible and easy to make music now, and so they do it. You know, I don't think that they're disrespecting the craft. I don't think that it's not, because I think a lot of times older people start attacking the younger generation as if the younger generation is.
We get it too in this industry over here.
Yeah, you know, like you know what I'm saying. It's like you know what I'm saying. It's like no, it's not some evil plot for this generation to destroy what we love. No, it's just that the ways of creating music has changed and evolved. So it's like, I think that, and I'm gonna just keep it all the way real. I think that us as the older generations, whether it's in sports entertainment, whether it's music, movies, whatever it is where there's a craft to be learned, I think us as the older generation, it's on us to step up. The younger generation, they don't know what questions to ask. They're just doing what they love. They just doing what they passionate about. How will they know what's right or wrong unless we as the older members of the community come down and be like, yo, why don't you try it like this? Instead of us chastising and instead of us, just picking apart everything that this generation does, why don't we be like, okay, they could do that a little better, or I hear where they going with that. It's like, it's not for us to judge them, because I'm sure when our parents listened to our form of hip hop and it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, Kool and the Gang or Grandmaster Flash, they probably was like, this is garbage. You know what I'm saying?
Move, get out the way. Like, that was like scrutinized for a minute.
Right.
Like,
Or,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like these things, like you said, were scrutinized. And so it's like, we don't want to become the generation that causes that gap between us and the next generation to get wider and wider. I think that instead of us always looking at the young generation like, you should be studying hip hop, they don't know where to, how. These things that, like, you know, this generation right now, they was born in the 90s. So a lot of the things that we grew up listening to, they weren't privy to.
Bro, some of them are 2000.
Exact 2000. So how can
21-year-old now is 2000.
2000. So how can Biggie and Pac be on their top fives when they weren't alive? They wasn't even alive to experience it. So now if us as an older generation, if we don't step off of our pedestals and high horses and put them on to Biggie and Pac, put them on to Wu-Tang Clan, put them on to Nas, put them on to
the greatness of Bow Wow in his prime, man. I'm going to fight for that, man.
Fight for
every
him.
episode.
Fight for
that, bruh.
We gotta
get Bow Wow on the show.
What, Shad? Let's go. Bruh, I champion that, man. That run was insane. It's legendary.
It was.
106 in Park. It will never be topped.
It was. They can't, right? We can't rewrite history.
Right.
And man, shouts to Lindsay. Like, Lindsay, that's for you, because she has rolled for Bow Wow in studio sessions. She has rolled for Bow Wow, like, you know, because you can't do that. You can't rewrite history based off of how you may perceive someone now. You know what I'm saying? You cannot erase the history that they made when they made it.
That's a great segue where we were going. We put it up on the board, man. Like, why are we doing the same thing? I wouldn't say us, but the community is doing the same thing with M. Mm-hmm. They're trying to erase all his greatness.
Yep.
Like they're picking apart every little thing with like going like super dissecting like lines or this. Oh, he never did like this. You don't get this music played in the studio in the club. Nobody bumps this. I'm like, okay, why wouldn't it become okay to just tear apart this whole man's legacy?
We just had the exact same conversation. Shouts to I have a really close relationship with Royce the 5'9". Shouts to Kid Vicious. Shouts to the whole Heaven Studios. Vish, yes. What up, Alien Gang? Y'all know what it is. So you know what I'm saying. But man, with M, we had the same conversation. Like, why is there like this new, like, why is it the end thing to pick apart Eminem's legacy? And I'm from Michigan, and I got a chance.
Know that hurts.
Yeah, it does. I got a chance to tell dude to his face, like, thank you for everything that you did for paving the way for Michigan, because it wasn't a whole lot of Michigan MCs that was getting love and respect. Like, we had MC Breed, shouts to MC Breed. We had the Dayton family from Flint, Michigan, Top Authority. Am I missing anybody from the crib? Dayton family, MC Breed, Top Authority. And then, so that was Flint. And then when M came, like, he just blew everything out the water for Michigan. He reached levels and heights that, you know, we had never seen before. And I honestly, that's so crazy. I don't understand where that comes from.
It hurts me. That man's on my wall right here. That's like one of my, like, all these guys are like influences for like, why, not even just my music, but the way my mind works, period. Because like he made it feel like, oh, it's okay to feel like this and feel vulnerable. Yeah. It's okay to admit that you did pills and feel like hurt, like wanting to hurt someone. Mm-hmm. He was like, that's rage.
Absolutely.
It's expressed rage. And
Absolutely.
And like at that time in music, it was like, you weren't supposed to say that. Mm-hmm. You don't say those things. Like he was saying it.
Absolutely.
Because we think that all the time.
Absolutely. And the thing with M, I look at too is like, you know, people look at Eminem and they have their opinions or whatever, and they try to make it seem like M was a gimmick. But the thing is, you can tell in the way he speaks about hip hop that he loves it. You can tell in how much time and effort he puts in the cadences and song concepts. He loves it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he love it. So it's like, I think that it's heartbreaking to take a situation where you can tell that somebody grew up, just like we come from inner cities or whatever the case, he did too. And hip hop saved his life as well. Mm-hmm. So why can't he tell his story? Why are we trying to trash that legacy? Why are we trying to make it seem like, oh, he just came into hip hop and hit a lick? Or no, I don't look at Eminem like that. I look at it like hip hop came from the struggle, right? It don't matter what race, what gender, whatever you are. Hip hop comes out of struggle. I don't know what else I can do in this situation that I'm in, but I'm going to use my creativity to get me out of this. I'm going to choose to not do all of the negative things that's surrounding me, and I'm going to put all of my energy into being creative and to doing something positive, and that's how I'm going to make it out of here. That's Eminem's story. That's my story. That's all of our stories that took something creative, that took art and made the most out of it to get out of a messed up situation. So I think that anybody that does that, it's almost ridiculous, and it's like, and it's stupid to try to take away, and especially this cat, like, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, like the history that he's made is unparalleled. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, he done stuff that probably nobody else is gonna ever do again in hip hop. So, like I said, if anybody that took art and made art out of a painful situation and took it to the heights that he did and didn't have to sell drugs, didn't have to, you know what I'm saying, do anything that they didn't want to do or take on a job that they hated, and they put they all into the music and made it, I think that it's almost ridiculous to try to put any type of shade on that.
You know, you make some very valid points. I look at it as, I think it's just, I look at hip hop like the first Toy Story movie. When Buzz Lightyear came around, that's all. Woody was done. Nobody cared.
Right.
They care about what they care about was new.
The Woody bars.
right.
Right. Like, you know, they care about, and in a lot of people's minds, I believe that this is what I think about hip hop, and this is something that I really wanted to say when we got to this conversation. I think that when people get to the mode where they're in legacy mode, they start getting disrespected the most. When you're in legacy mode in your rap career or any part of career, when you're a Shawn Michaels or a Randy Orton, you kind of start getting picked apart a little bit different than when you're still on the come up. Because then they can start seeing your body of work. You have 8 albums out. Then they can go back and talk about what songs they didn't like. And everything's more exposed now. And I think that people don't respect the legacy mode of people's careers. After you've won all the awards and you still want to keep going and rap because you love it. Like, there's from 1997 to 2021, this man's skill has never dropped.
At all.
It's
if anything, improved.
Right.
I've always said
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing is that it's just for what people might feel, because he's been an open book about his whole career. Now, if you know, you like certain things, you don't like certain things, that's fine. But the impact that people make, the thing I don't like that we don't do about other things, that we don't do about other categories, but we do it for hip hop a lot, is that when it comes to legacy modes with rappers, we just like to shut them down.
We love saying washed. We love bringing up washed
Don't we?
a lot.
You know what I mean?
Don't we?
And I don't. Yeah, absolutely. We're a lot harsher to our legends because we remember, even if they change or go at a certain time, like, he's not, okay, hey, him and his baby mom's good now. His daughter's grown up. Maybe that's not what he's talking about anymore. But just him at his age in his life, I don't, okay, so if Steven Tyler and Aerosmith come out there in the concert tomorrow, everybody's still going to show up and see that same man do the same steps he's been doing since 1965. You know what I mean? Like no people, they're still going to sell out. They're still going to sell out. I think that
let U2 come out and tour
they're
tomorrow.
In the UK, like,
right.
you can't find a seat. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
you know, I think for these same people, it's like, you know, let's let these guys get their legacy acts in because they gave so much. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we'll put in.
And once again, it's not even about a color thing. It's just the genre thing.
Right.
It's just how we treat our genre. We're
Because
quick,
now you have 35-year-old men saying, "Well, I can't listen to." They're like, I'll switch the topic and say Jay-Z. The conversation now with Jay-Z is, he's so rich, I don't even know what he's talking about anymore. He talking about art,
property, and trying to get us out the hood. Why we trying to do that?
And
like,
you know what?
These are 40-year-old men saying this.
And see,
you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy about that? I seen somebody else say this, and I think that it's an ill point that. So hip hop was born in what? The 70s?
76, 77, depending on who you ask.
So think of how young the genre.
That's another thing about our history. We change it all the time.
All the time. Somewhere between 69 and 79.
It's like the barbershop and the Coming to America. It's like, no, 1995. No,
technically, the first guy, he was a pimp. He came in the barbershop freestyling.
No, Martin Luther King.
Right.
Joe Louis.
You feel me?
Yeah.
But think about that. Think of how young hip hop is as a genre.
Yes.
So we're living in the first era that we've had legacy acts like that. You feel me? Yeah. So now us as fans of the genre, this is the first generation of fans that have to deal with how to cope with legacy acts. Rap legacy acts.
Because like there's hip hop, but like this is like the rap era of getting old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one thing that I noticed that's kind of is ill because we don't really look at it like that. That hip hop is still rather young. I was watching the other day, like sometimes I'll just go down the black hole of the internet, right? And I'll just start looking up old stuff, like just random old stuff. Like I was on an Andrew Dice Clay run the other day. I just look up random stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the other day I saw like a 60 Minutes clip of like the beginning of hip hop. And I'm like, dang, this was only like 1981 or something like that. And it was like the effect of hip hop on America. And I'm like, and it dawned on me like, wow, hip hop is that new. You know what I'm saying? Where we're still learning how to deal with, there are still firsts in hip hop. You feel me? Like, think about how old rock and roll is. I don't know if there's any more firsts in rock and roll. I don't know that there's any more, you know what I'm saying? But we're still in the place in hip hop where we're experiencing first of things. So I think that us as a generation, we're learning right now how to deal with this, and we're learning how to transition into having these legacy acts. And I think that the term age appropriate hip hop is a good thing. I think that just like, you know, there's certain hip hop or there's certain R&B that maybe a 30-year-old will listen to, but then my parents might listen to Luther Vandross and they'll listen to Bobby Womack and stuff like that. It's like I think that shout to Bobby Womack. You know what I'm saying?
That's my guy.
That's my guy. If you think you're lonely now, wait until the night. You feel me?
Yeah,
so
amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
That was
brother.
my guy.
That was my guy. He was a dirty bastard, but that's my guy.
But that's right. You feel me? Yo. We got real.
We got real.
We here. We ain't gotta put him on blast, but we know.
I just had to say that.
Yes,
Whoa,
if y'all ever
intrigued,
Bobby Womack was something else. But yeah, he was. You know. So, man, you made me lose 1 point.
My bad.
But nah, but yes. So anyway, what was we talking about? Age appropriate hip hop. Yeah, we talk about age appropriate hip hop. I think that
Bobby Womack ain't it?
Yeah, nah, not at all. But
Yeah.
I think that it's cool that we're coming into a time period where you got Jay-Z that can be talking about things that, you know, resonate with 40 and 50-year-olds, where he's talking about how to invest your money and he's talking about those type of things. Like, I don't hate what up, Hov? But
He enjoying what you're saying right now.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? So I don't hate the different ways that people express themselves within hip hop. Like people ask me all the time because I guess people deem me a lyricist. You know what I'm saying? And how do I feel about a lot of the music that comes out? I think that hip hop has always had these different forms of itself. Like even in the era of Pac and Biggie, you always had the 69 Boys, and you had Tootsie Roll. You had, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Luke and
all of that, right? You had balance. I think that that's just the thing that nowadays we just need to understand that the older generation of hip hop isn't a bad thing. The younger generation of hip hop isn't a bad thing. We can all coexist. It doesn't have to just sound one way. It doesn't just have to be one way. There's nothing in life that one way is the right way to do it, right?
No, too much of one thing is
a bad thing.
Amen.
Always.
Amen.
We need that. We need all of the different forms of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Just like within professional wrestling, right? There's different styles. You got people, you know what I'm saying? You got a Rey Mysterio, but then you got got a mat technician like Bret Hart. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got like different styles complement each other sometimes, and it makes the sport better. Different forms of hip hop make the genre better. Yeah. Sometimes I might feel like listening to Lil Baby or The Baby, right?
Yeah.
But then sometimes I might want to listen to Hov or Nas. We don't have one way of feeling or thinking all the time, and I think that as a audience and as fans of hip hop, I think that's what we need to mature with. We need to mature in embracing all forms of the genre so that the genre can continue to grow.
Right. We're not feeling the same way all the time as people, so why should our music reflect that?
Why should our music reflect that?
We're feeling a different way each time. If I'm in the car, I'm about to go to the club, I'm not bumping. I know I can't be what I want to be by now.
Right.
Right.
Bros in the back like, bruh, come on, man.
Girls in the back like what?
Right.
You know what?
Girls can't get jiggy in it.
Right, man. It's real. I was thinking too, like I remember early in my career, man, when I had homies around me, they would always be like, you need a club banger, you need a club banger, you need a club banger. I got to a point in my life where it's like, I don't know if I want to hear Jon Connor in the club. I don't. Like, I don't know that I would. You feel me? And that's just being real. Right. That's not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing.
Maybe I'm the artist you listen to in the car on the way to work. Maybe you're the artist you listen to. I'm the artist that you listen to when you in the gym and you need that extra motivation. Right. Maybe I'm the art. Why is it that, okay, you're not going to listen to, I don't listen to Sade in the club, but I still love her music. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Her. And that never stopped her. Yep. So why do we feel like I have to make songs that fit into this pocket? No, you don't. Figure out who you are. Yep. Figure out where your art lives at. You feel me? And then do that. So for me, it's like, no, I got to a certain point where it's like, I wouldn't want to hear Jon Connor in the club. I want to hear me when I'm trying to do something or I'm feeling motivated or whatever. When I'm in the club, I might want to hear Cardi B. That fits the environment. I think that art fits the environment. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it reflects it.
Absolutely.
Much, you know? Oh, so we went through a whole lot. We still got plenty of time left, and I'm going to utilize all of it. Amen. Well, you better change the memory cards right now because we about to get into some chit trap. So I'm gonna let you go. Y'all connecting. Y'all doing y'all thing.
Oh man, we get
into the chit trap.
Let's get it. Come on
now. We going to chit trap.
This is my guy, man.
Yes, sir.
Guy. And you know what? Here at the wonderful, wonderful world of chit trap, there is a wonderful man who invented this, and he's over there laughing right now with behind the camera. And I'm gonna have him ask this question. Because this is Big Dog over here with Chit Trap. Yeah. So go ahead.
Come on with it. Can
brother.
we get a round of applause? Let's go.
It's your moment. It's my goddamn brother.
Shine on, player.
Right here. Go ahead,
Let's go. Shine on. Get your shine on, man.
Oh, man. You mentioned movies earlier. Are you a movie fan?
I am.
All right, cool. So the question I have for you guys is, what's a movie sequel that kind of shouldn't exist, but you're happy that it does? So a movie that like
wow
shouldn't, like, you're like, man, this, like, okay, they kind of wrapped up everything in the previous movie, and it doesn't really make sense for the sequel, but I'm really happy it's here.
Off top,
off the top.
One that I'm gonna throw out there that it didn't need to exist because the first movie was gangster enough. Blade. The Blade.
That's a good one.
You feel me?
That is a good one.
Okay, so Blade 2 is actually my favorite
hard.
franchise.
Blade 2 was hard. All three. Yeah. I like the Blade Trinity. Like the third one kind of but it wasn't god awful.
No. There's been worse.
Right.
There's been worse threes.
Right.
There's been worse movies.
Definitely have.
Right. But Blade off top, I think that.
Oh, you can go now. You're dismissed.
I just want to say this. The Reapers were super cool in Blade 2. I thought that was like
absolutely.
Dope. Right.
Yeah, that was the
split.
Incredible.
I'm done.
So for me, off the top of the head, because I think that Blade 1 was classic. Yeah. But then when they came back with Blade 2, it was like, I didn't know I wanted this, but I'm glad I got it.
You know, anybody else got one?
We really need another Pirates.
Yes. Yes.
Did we really?
That man's chest was incredible.
I mean, man.
They running on the wheel while it's spinning. And
I saw the first one.
jungle.
I was like, because I love Johnny Depp's acting in that movie. I loved it.
It's incredible.
And I'm like, man, the second one came out. I'm like, do we need it? I saw it. I was like, yeah, we needed this.
Yeah. There's more seed to discover.
We needed the story. I saw the first one, the movie. I was like, yes, that's great. And then the second one came out. I was like, what? I was like, man, we don't need that. I'm in the movie theater. My girl at the time was like, man, we need to go see this. I'm sitting there watching like, smiling over. The movie was great. So
especially it was Disney, Pixar, and all that.
Yeah, they're gonna capitalize.
I'm like, they're gonna be like 8 of these.
Yeah.
I knew it was coming.
Absolutely.
Nobody gonna say Fast and the Furious? Nobody?
Keep it going.
I'm telling you,
The more I'm on board.
they're going to space. That they got to drive on the moon. That is the next level because they already spiderwebbing the car and swinging.
I'm waiting for them to bring up clones. I'm waiting.
Yep.
I'm waiting for clones.
That's the next step.
That's the next step. Clones
Idris Elba was pretty much a clone.
Clones and twins. Like twin brothers.
I'm saying they're going to
soap opera with it.
Facts.
Every Fast and Furious always be over it. Like, all right, I'm good. And then that next one come out and you be like, bro. It went from racing cars to space.
Yeah, I'm like, do y'all race anymore? Like y'all, yes, the Millennium Falcon, and he's going to jump it to the next. Oh,
Just say it, let it.
The peak of Fast and Furious for me is when they were chasing down that plane and they just had like miles and miles of runway that just never ran out.
That tank was full, boy. I tell you.
I was like, yo, this thing ever go. Even if it don't take off, there's an end to this strip at some point.
Facts.
Now to answer the trip trap question for me, I don't think we needed a Bad Boys 2.
I'm gonna shake your hand on camera on that one. Listen, can I please?
Get your round off, brother.
Listen.
I loved Bad Boys 2, especially in the summer. You know what we needed for Bad Boys 2?
What's up?
If anything about the movie, we needed that soundtrack. Shake Your Tail Feather.
Oh yeah,
ran the summer.
Did that.
So that's why Bad Boys 2
absolutely
needed to happen
for
Murphy Lee verse.
See, bro, I'm gonna tell you, I'm a huge Bad Boys fan, a huge Martin fan, huge Will fan.
Yep.
But to me, Bad Boys 1 is so legendary. The story, you know what I'm saying? I felt like it was a good story backed up by comedy.
Yes.
By the time you got to the second one, I almost felt like they were trying to trick me with all of the explosives to take away from the fact that the story wasn't that good.
And that's what
Michael Bay does it again.
Instead of Bad Boys, but that's what people were saying about Fast and Furious. The first supposed to be about the cars, and this goes 880 miles in 2.3 seconds and all that. And then after a while, nobody even cared about the cars anymore. It's about the story.
Right.
Yeah. But like this, man, I agree with him, bro. I saw that. Nothing will top that first one. Then I saw 3 with Granddaddy Martin. I'm like, I'm good, bro.
I didn't even see it. I can't bring it to my heart.
Now listen, now here's the thing. I'm gonna vouch real quick though.
Okay.
Bad Boys 2 needed to happen to get to Bad Boys 3. Because I'm gonna say I watched Bad Boys 3. And it was the perfect conclusion to everything you needed to be concluded from Bad Boys 1. It was almost like a Kevin Feige Marvel situation where it was things that came back in Bad Boys 3. Even the original theme music came back in Bad Boys 3. So it was like, yo, they brought it all back around. So I would say Bad Boys 2, I could have did without, but it got us to Bad Boys 3, which I was not mad at all.
What if there's a Bad Boys 4?
It's already coming.
No comment, man. No comment, man. I'll wait to see it.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, I think Bad Boys 3 was dope. I think that it was awesome.
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, please do. Please.
Yeah.
Did you watch Bad Boys 3?
I watched it.
How'd you feel about it?
I'm kind of like on detention with Will Smith right now.
The story, I like the story the best story that they told, they did tell.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm used to seeing hyper energetic Martin.
Martin, yeah.
That's the Martin I go by.
Yeah.
This Martin's too chill.
Yeah.
He been through life. He saved.
Right.
He chilling.
It was definitely
Martin
a different.
chilling,
but in all fairness, Teasy, is it not? Is it? But think though, is that not where that character was supposed to go though? You know. What I'm
Right. He's that way. He's that.
I tried.
I'm trying to get through the round. I can't. Y'all got it. I don't know where that came from. Huh?
Is there a more memorable recent car chase?
The truck flying over his head. That was insane.
Yeah, that was
That's Michael
crazy.
Bay's like
That was
specialty
crazy.
though.
Yeah.
That was
Practical
crazy.
effects, majority practical effects.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much.
Martin can't do no special effects no more. Martin just like
I'm more of a Martin.
he's like Mike Lowry. He just screaming Mike Lowry the whole script. That's all you know.
When I saw the picture when like they were advertising scenes from Bad Boys 3 and it showed Martin on the hatch side of the motorcycle, I was like,
that kind of disappointed me
Yeah.
because, bro, in Bad Boys 1, I felt like Martin and Will were equals.
yes.
Then by Bad Boys 2, I felt like Martin was Will's sidekick a little bit. It was a Batman-Robin dynamic.
He got shot in the butt. He got the erectile dysfunction. He got the Molly.
You
I'm
feel
like,
me? And in Bad Boys 1, Martin, you forgot your boarding pass. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was like,
Right, he drove.
some Skittles.
Yeah, he drove through the thing at the end.
Yeah.
He was the bad boy.
that's how you supposed to drive.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That was
Yeah.
amazing. And then, like you said, then by Bad Boys 2, it kind of became superhero and sidekick. And I think with Bad Boys 3, I think that they brought it back around with they explained Martin behaving the way that he was in a way that was palatable. I think
that's a good way to. Okay.
I like
okay,
to
I'll
use
give
it
it a
like
chance.
palatable. I pulled that word
No,
out.
I just never
Thank you,
forget.
bro.
I shoot you. I shoot you. Nothing will ever top that. Go ahead, bro.
So on the inverse of the question, what's a
Yeah.
movie that's a standalone and shouldn't have a sequel? It should just be as it is.
I'm gonna say this as one of the biggest Eddie Murphy fans in existence. Beverly Hills Cop. It should have just stopped at one for me.
But a movie that is on its own and it shouldn't because we've had multiple Beverly Hills Cops, but like a one with no sequel and it doesn't need one.
Oh, it doesn't need one?
Doesn't
For the
need
longest, I was gonna say Coming to America, but
But now they have.
for the
I saw the trailer and I agree. It should never happen.
yeah, but like for me, Money Train. Money Train is a standalone movie.
Standalone
I don't
movie.
want more of it.
Wesley Snipes?
Yep.
And Woody Harrelson.
I was thinking about that movie though.
Great movie. Great movie.
I was at work
Excellent.
thinking about that movie.
We were just talking about Money Train. We just came back from Atlanta and we was watching White Men Can't Jump. And we was
Don't
talking
need another one of them either.
Don't need another one.
Don't need another one of them either.
Now, for a time period, I thought I wanted another White Man Can't Jump just because of how it left off. Because I want to see Rosie Perez get back with Woody
do.
Harrelson. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see that, but I think you're right. Sometimes you got to just leave well enough alone.
Yeah.
But back to Money Train, like that's what made us start talking about it. We was on, we were traveling and just the dynamic between Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes was crazy. It's
great. They play off each other so well.
So well, like it's crazy. Shouts out to Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes if y'all check this out.
Yo, like him and Dolomite slayed me, dude.
Yeah, absolutely,
Slayed me.
absolutely.
That third act, he was just star.
Yes.
Superstar in it.
Yes,
oh
yes.
my God.
And I just want to say this publicly with the passing of a lot of people from that cast, there never needs to be another Friday made. Never again. Let John Witherspoon, let them guys rest in peace. You're not going to recast them with anybody else. Leave.
Right, because how do you even do it now?
Leave that alone. No Pops in the movie. What are we
Debo,
doing?
No, and then Chris Tucker has went on record as saying he's not with doing another
The
one.
energy's not there.
Yeah, it's just his time is past his. Yeah.
I'm almost willing to say Black Panther as well. Just leave
I
it.
kind of feel that. I kind of feel that way.
I ain't gonna hold you.
I kind
The
of
more
feel
I think
that way.
about it, because I was like, okay, the younger sister Shiri, she could be the Black Panther, but the more I think about it, I'm like,
I think we just leave it.
I feel like
Killmonger though.
Nope.
yeah, just
do more
leave-
creeds.
Yeah,
We good.
agreed.
Oh, they're
I
doing
agree.
another Creed too now. Like let that go. I love Creed, but no, they don't need
Creed
it.
2 is that would probably be one I they made Creed, I was like, hey, leave it alone. You struck lightning. And then Creed 2 came out. I was like, ooh, don't mess it up. And then Creed 2 was actually good. So I was like,
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, it seemed like movies got real sequel heavy at a certain point in time. It used to feel like back in the day.
They out of ideas.
Yeah, original screenplays don't exist no more. There's no original screenplays. Like now, it's just you either want to see a superhero or you want to see a reboot.
So here's a question for you guys: how do y'all feel about reboots and remakes? Like, you know how they had.
I think we're too. It's once again too much of one thing. Kind of kills the spirit of it. Like, oh man,
Mortal
like
Kombat is scaring me looking at those things.
bro. When I saw Jax,
that is my thing.
when I
Scaring you in a good way or a bad way?
Right.
Terrible way.
Really?
I saw Jax and I said, "Ooh."
I'm looking at Scorpion and I'm like, no. No.
My cousin and I was talking today.
I'm like, no. I'm like, that ain't Liu Kang.
Yo, Scorpion looking like get over here.
Yo, he was like, yo, why they so? He's like, why Liu Kang didn't come out so skinny? He's like, I remember them being kind of like cut.
Yeah.
In the game.
But see, sometimes they can surprise you though.
Sure.
I remember how much like when The Dark Knight and Batman Begins was coming
Yeah,
out back
yeah.
in 05, right? I remember people was like really hard on it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They should not do this. Christian Bale. And then I remember even when they cast, rest in peace to Heath Ledger. I remember when they casted Heath Ledger, right?
Yep.
The internet was going crazy. Like, how could they do this? And Brokeback Mountain, and he's not going to capture the essence of Joker. And he slayed that role.
Still,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Still, nobody can still I still think Joaquin Phoenix can't capture that.
No.
Right.
He did something else that was great,
It was great.
but it didn't capture that magic. It was just a
Absolutely.
great film.
And I feel like if there wasn't a Heath Ledger's Joker, there couldn't have been a Joaquin Phoenix. Like, I feel like there's portions of Heath Ledger's Joker that influenced that Joker.
The thing with that Joaquin Phoenix Joker was that he was too sentiment to people. Like, or especially when, remember he like the dude that framed him with the gun and told on him and said all that stuff. Then he came back and he beat him to death
Right.
in the thing, and he let the small man like go. I'm like, Joker wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't let nobody just
Right.
go.
This is
I'm like,
facts.
what is this?
This is true.
I feel, man. Shao Kahn looking like Killer Cross. Sub-Zero throw fire, he don't do the ball and throw the ice like this. He's like,
So Teasy, my question for you though. But are you gonna go see it?
yep.
Exactly. And ain't that how we do as fans though?
I'm
We'll
an
you
HBO
call my
Max
bluff.
it.
Right.
I'm front row.
I'm an HBO Max that one. I will be in the comfort of my room
Right.
with my pet pig on my lap
After
watching.
Annihilation, I was scared. I was like, oh God.
I still love it.
You still love
You
it?
like
Me too.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Hold up.
I'll watch it all the way through.
bad.
Are you serious?
Yes, I will.
Stop it.
I will watch
This is
it.
crazy.
When it's on and I ain't got nothing going on,
I am
sit
watching
back
it.
and watch it.
Now, let me ask you a question.
I got
Are
him,
you
son.
are y'all watching because it's so good it's bad, or are you
so
actually
good.
watching because it's like a good movie?
Oh, yeah. It's more towards the
I gotta send you the cinema sins of it because it's hilarious. They're like, remember that big old army that they were building through the movie?
Oh my.
Where'd they go at the end?
Right.
He built the army and they were ready to go, and then he turned into a dragon, ate them, and they just disappeared.
Disappeared.
They spent the entire movie looking for them. That's all the army did, like in the background. Okay, they come, y'all.
Bro, that movie disappointed me so many times in the first 15 minutes. Like, soon as it came on, I'm like, that's not Johnny Cage. Who is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, that's not Raiden. Who is that? Like, it was the whole cast was
Raiden out here looking like Christian
exactly.
with the haircut. There, I'm good.
You know
Bro.
the story with Nick Cage.
I don't.
Okay, so apparently, I'm gonna go here.
Yep.
Come on in.
You get too much screen time. I don't like this.
We talk about movies. So, apparently, the original Johnny Cage, or the dude from the first movie, he did not like the script, and he didn't want to come back. So basically, he was like, "Hey, y'all could just kill me off." So that's why, like, legend has it, that's why he died, like within the first 10 minutes.
Wow.
Like, in his next out.
There's more. There's more. So remember I don't know the character's name, but the lady with the four arms, the Goro,
Right.
female Goro.
Shiva. Is that her name?
right? You ever see how she died in the movie? Like the thing just fell on her. They killed her off because they couldn't afford the more animatronics for the arms, so they just killed the character by dropping a chandelier on her.
When do you just say this movie's probably just not meant for us to make?
If you're that far into production, you might as well. That's like what you washed 3/4 of your car and you ran out of soap. You're like,
It seems like they casting people. They see a big black dude at the club. Like, hey, you want to play jacks?
Right.
Let's put these things on. You be all right.
Exactly, because they recasted Jax too. Like, this is all coming back to me because
Jax like a retired cop for real in this new one. Facts.
Glory Road.
Dude, he looks struggle Jax, bro. Like, I'd rather have the
Apple Jacks. That's all that
Don't do that man like that. Don't do that man like that.
I'm gonna be watching though. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna tune in and then I'm gonna text him. I'll call him either venting or liking it.
I'm like, yeah, how do you feel about jumping jacks? How'd he do?
So while we on the topic of movies and sequels, I'm curious.
Yes.
The Hangover, was it necessary to have a 2 and 3?
3, no. 2, I didn't mind 2. I didn't hate 2. But I could put that in there like I didn't want a 2, but I ended up like, okay.
Didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like after 1, it could have been over.
Yeah.
It could have been. Right.
Yeah. Like even Tyson was kind of forced into the second one.
Forced into it, right.
I'm like, he didn't need to be here, but you had to have him. I get it.
That's one thing that I don't understand about, maybe it's the executives that are behind finance and movies, that I feel like they don't understand that there's an organic element to these things is why we liked them the first time.
Yes.
And then when you start trying to force feed things to us, it's like, well, I don't want that. You gave it to me the first time, and it's not even as good or as authentic as it was the first time. I think that happens in music with remixes. I think that happens in movies with sequels. I think it happens in
wrestling. So
right.
Do we need a 50-man greatest Royal Rumble?
Did we?
I mean, it brought us the greatest Titus O'Neil sliding under the ring
Titus
thing.
World
That's
slide.
what we got out of it. So I will say
World
that.
slide. I got it.
Yeah.
At that point, you
shouts to Titus O'Neil, super cool dude. I had a pleasure, of meeting him. Very cool dude.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
So this isn't really a chit chat thing. We're going back to the podcast. We're going to segue, but this is like we wrap up little current event topics. Do you truly believe that there's $24 million worth of diamond in the middle of Lil Uzi Vert's head right now? Do you truly believe that thing is worth $24 million? Please, can I get a graphic on that screen right now?
Yeah, let's go to the screen on that one.
Yeah. The speculation is it's not $24 million because his net worth is 19.
Yeah, $24 million on a diamond in your forehead. That's a bit of, I guess we all have our things that make us happy. You know what I'm saying? We all have our things that make us happy, man. If that's what he want to do with his money, he worked hard
Uncut Gems
for
wasn't
it,
worth that much, and that man got shot for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if I would want a diamond implanted in me though.
Do you think this is gonna spawn like a whole new craze?
I think so. I think it will, because I remember back in like 1999 when Birdman and Lil Wayne was the first ones with like platinum grills.
Yep.
And I remember that at the time gold grills was the thing. Like that was, and even that was like a regional thing. That was just in the South. Now
finger rings was like the 80s.
Yeah,
that was an outlandish.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
But then now that's the norm. I ain't never seen a more accurate side by side. Who did that? You did that?
Oh, no.
No, that's the GOAT.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yes, absolutely.
He just
I was just vouching for WandaVision. That was a cool segue too. Right? Crazy. I don't want to put the spoiler out there from episode 5, but that was crazy. I won't.
I got through episode 2. I'll continue on.
Yeah,
now is the time to shit.
Jump in. I'm promoting right now for Disney Plus. I'm promoting for Marvel. Y'all watch WandaVision.
You start back at 1, because
I gotta get it.
Because I feel like you was watching it, but you weren't there.
I was watching I Love Lucy, man. I'm like,
It's all
right.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel, and then your stuff get crazy.
Oh, sitting there,
Bro, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Start with episode 3. Start with 3, 4, and that's gonna give you what you need. Because if the first two,
Right, it rocking back to sleep.
you know what I'm saying. The first two are a little slower. And you know what I'm saying? But when you get into the meat of the situation, it's going to catch you up on everything from episodes 1 and 2 if you start at 3. You're going to get caught up. Absolutely.
What Miley Cyrus doing right now?
What up, bitch?
Yo,
I ain't touching it.
The amount of time to get him in that makeup must be insane. On a daily or however long, how many shoots they do. Because that's like a 5-6 hour process, maybe even more.
Yeah, that is nuts. That's stuff that we don't normally even think about, because I was watching, I think, Val Kilmer talk about getting into the bat suit for Batman Forever. Just getting in the bat suit was an all day thing. And he was talking about just things like perspectives that we don't think about, right? Like he was talking about when he had to use the bathroom, it had to be another person that helped him with the bat suit and had to, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's like we don't think about those things, but you know, shouts to what's my man in there play Vision?
Paul
Bettany.
Bettany,
right? Shouts to Paul Bettany, man, because you are doing that for our entertainment, dog. Man, round of applause for Paul Bettany. Like,
He doing that for that Disney check. Entertainment.
He's like, take my clap back.
I'm like, take all that back. Honestly, Vision is the least interesting character that came in through the Avengers to me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that's why, though.
Because it came on Age of Ultron, which was...
And see, but that's why I'm going to encourage people to watch it.
Very
because
right.
they've taken the 2 Avengers that I was least interested in, and I care now. So if they can do that with Wanda and Vision, whatever's next with the Fantastic Four and Doctor Strange multiverse, and
been down this Fantastic Four road
many times, but not under the Kevin Feige regime.
Anybody can make it work.
I said it.
Elements. I think Fantastic Four is it's too many elements and too many stories to tell correctly. Now, in you might need a series to do it because you can't do it in just one movie sitting. You need multiple movies. You need multiple of anything to get the Fantastic Four origins correct.
Right.
With every character, that is just it's too much. It's too hard, especially when you want to push it out and meet deadlines. It's never going to work. So if you do a series with this on Disney Plus, you have a chance. But it's Fantastic Four and it's cursed. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I trust Kevin Feige though, man.
Yeah.
I said the other day in the studio, Kevin Feige is the Steve Jobs of superhero movies.
Innovation.
He changed the game. How do you do that? How do you have 10 years worth of movies and TV shows that all coincide with each other? You keep finding little intricacies in every movie where they thought of everything.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Even when you watch WandaVision, it's stuff like you watch and one of the agents that's working with Sword was in the first Thor movie. Then another, like, you know what I'm saying? Another agent was in Captain America. And it's like, yo, this is crazy. Like, it's like, how did they have the foresight, or how did Kevin Feige put the right group of writers, the right group of all of that together to do this for someone? We going into what? We about to go into another 10 years of movies? That's crazy. Yeah. So I just got to shout and give love to Kevin Feige, because that is passion of the likes we have never seen in the film genre.
He looked angry for thinking of all this stuff. He was just upset. He's like, why y'all make me do this?
Right, he's tired.
Like a soul leaving his body, bro.
Right. Straight up, man.
He's like, y'all better like this.
Right.
Y'all better.
Just straight up.
There's
man.
a movie called Boyhood. It literally took 13 years to make. It's actually really good.
Wow.
They got it has Ethan Hawke in it. He's in it. It literally took 13 years to make. So literally the movie, they starts off, the boy's like maybe like 8 years old, and the movie ends. It's like a 2-hour movie. Ends with by the time he graduates high school and goes to college, and it's really him growing
in real time.
In real time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
dope.
and all the actors stayed the same. So it was a project that they worked on that like all the actors every summer would get together and film some portion of the movie, and then they go do whatever they were going to do. Then summer come around, and they did that for like I think it was like 11 to 13 years. So you literally saw the boy grow through the movie.
Ooh, you don't have to pay me.
Right.
So
I gotta commit
for
like
11
years of my life to this movie.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me though.
But it's interesting. So it won. It was like Oscar nominated, like from back in like 2013, 12.
Yeah, we better win.
It's Oscar nominated. Nominated.
Huh? What was the name of the film?
Boyhood.
Can you text it to me?
Yeah, Boyhood. Like I watched that on a plane. Like man, when I was traveling a lot, man, I was watching all these like movies. I'm big into going and like watching the Oscar nominations,
right?
Seeing what's nominated, who's winning, what they're up for, what directors did this and stuff. And that was like Boyhood was nominated for like Best Picture, I think, at the time.
Wow.
And I don't think it won. I couldn't remember who beat him out. But that was one of the ones I'm like, oh, all the movies that are nominated are here. I'm gonna watch them.
Wow.
And I sat there and watched it. It was good.
No, I'm on it. I always like anytime people vouch for.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so,
it.
Yeah, 12-year, a movie, a 12-year epic.
Wow.
Heather Locklear. Oh, what is it?
Ethan Hawke. Wow.
I can't read that. Amy, what it said?
Yeah, that's
Patricia Arquette is in. Yeah, but yeah, you watch that boy get to like actually 18, 19 years old, graduate high school, and go on in his life. It's really cool.
I'm definitely gonna I'm definitely watching it.
Yes, yeah. So last little bit. How much time we have left? Breaking kayfabe. What's good?
Like an hour and 24.
Oh, okay. Super Bowl predictions. We got them tomorrow. By the time y'all see this, y'all don't know who won, but hopefully we right. Who we picking?
You know
the
what?
The future or the past? What we going with?
You know what? I'm gonna keep it all the way real. Growing up, I was super into wrestling. Was never a football dude, right? So I'm going to go to my trusted football aficionado, Big Steve. Can you come and give them my Super Bowl prediction as the person who is knowledgeable about football?
Okay.
Oh, that might game up next.
Yeah. Phantom. We are going with Tom Brady.
Oh, are we?
And Tampa Bay.
Are we?
Yes.
If he said, I'm rocking with it.
Because.
You saying that because we in Florida?
No, because Tom. I'm saying because Tom is petty. This is the first time the Super Bowl, a home team is playing in the Super Bowl.
Which is why.
And he's the quarterback. And he's trying to prove Bill Belichick wrong. Anytime he play with a chip on his shoulder, he does great things. Patrick Mahomes and them are dealing with injuries. He just got his bell rung a couple weeks ago.
He did.
Yeah. He's going up against Sue, and that defense at Tampa Bay is looking crazy.
Yeah, Devin White is a monster.
It ain't the Super Bowl from last year. They're going up against some guys this year. So
yeah, you get a lead.
It's
this
over.
dude right here will come back too.
Going with the home team. Go blue.
Make some noise for Big Steve.
Big Steve showing up. Swerve City Podcast debut, episode 583, 62942.
See, his answer was way more entertaining than mine would have been.
But basically, you got like, you got LeBron versus Jordan right now.
Oh, okay.
Of quarterbacks.
Wow.
This boy is 25, 24 years old. Already won league MVP, Super Bowl MVP last year. 10-year, $500 million deal, richest contract in American sports history.
So this in my world,
this is the LeBron.
This would be Shawn Michaels versus AJ Styles.
Yeah. This is our Rock and Hogan.
Yeah. Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. This is our Rock Hogan right now. The greatest to ever do it to the future of going to be the greatest to ever do it. And this dude has like the greatest like offensive structure in football. You can know him, man. Just weapons everywhere. Literally the best receiver in the league, best tight end in the league. Like had the best running back in the league, but he just weapons all over. And he's super talented.
About to be an epic then.
So this is the one you want to watch.
Word. Well, I'm there for it. Like I say, I'll be around him, so I'm definitely gonna be watching.
This is the one to watch.
I'll be that. You know how you always around Super Bowl time, you got everybody just automatically become football fans. They ain't never watched football a day in their life. The Super Bowl come on, they become the biggest football fans.
I've never seen so many Bucks jerseys in my life.
I'm saying.
And I live around there, and everybody all of a sudden a Bucks fan.
But I'm gonna definitely tune in. I'm gonna be around this dude.
Yeah, my baby mom like, go Patrick Mahomes. I'm like, watch a game of your life.
All right. Another quick thing for current events too. Obviously, we are gonna possibly, the way it's going, gonna have WrestleMania with some people there this year, hopefully.
Same stadium too.
Same stadium. If you had to pick your main event for this year, who would it be for this upcoming WrestleMania card?
I would because it's 2 world titles, so
not to mention the women too.
Absolutely,
they can main event now too.
Absolutely, okay. So 3 world titles. Well, 4 if you count because it's 2 women's world titles as well. But I want to see Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks.
That's to happen.
That's
showtime.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is it not?
Book it.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want.
In my veins.
Give me what I want.
Book it.
I think I need Drew McIntyre and Edge. That's what I would like to see.
You want okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want. Like out of Edge winning the Royal Rumble, that's what I would have liked to have seen. I know this year you
want him versus Finn Balor.
I'm a Finn Balor guy. Like I like Finn Balor. I know it's probably too late this year to have Rock versus Roman Reigns. So that's probably.
I don't think Rock returned to that crowd back, bro.
Right, absolutely.
On the most electrifying man.
Yeah, he doing that crowd. He coming out there with his arm and 7 people there. It ain't gonna.
There's nobody to electrify.
Right. You know. So yeah, that's what. So this is just hypothetical, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So right, if I had it my way, the main event as far as the world titles would be The Rock and Roman Reigns. It would be Drew McIntyre and Edge. It would be, like I say, Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. And give me Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or a rematch, or even triple that Asuka, Charlotte Flair, and Bayley. Because I really like Bayley is doing a lot of amazing things. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always
she was a guest on here.
Really? Shouts to Bayley, man. Even
she named him Mike the GOAT.
Word. Mike the GOAT.
Actually, Kofi did. But she followed up.
That's dope. That's super dope, man.
Yep.
You got an ill story.
No doubt about it, man.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, own that, Mike. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, man.
And your name Mike. Mike the GOAT.
Mike the GOAT.
Tells us so.
Yeah, so that would be my main events, like far as the world titles, as far as wrestling.
Mike the only one on the team playing his warm-up pants. He don't got that.
Under legs. What's good? But yeah, man. So that should be a wrap, man. Anything you want to promote? You got a lot of projects that you're working on, producing, have your hands on, man. Like bring it up, talk about it, bring your artists on camera.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, bet. And I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
First and foremost, Teasy, Swerve, thank y'all for having me on. It's a pleasure. Like, you know what I'm saying, to sit up and talk and just kick it. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful thing. And also, I also want to just put out there how much respect I have for your art and your craft and what you do. We MCs, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I grew up a super fan of WWE, of pro wrestling in general, old school WCW, NWA, Global Wrestling Federation, like all of that's on WWE Network. So all of those things, I grew up watching all of wrestling. And I think that it's so amazing what you guys do, how you guys put your bodies at risk and lives on the line literally every night for our entertainment. That's something that I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for, how you guys take people on a roller coaster ride, but it's all based on the 2 people in the ring having chemistry and working a psychology that us as fans, even though we understand what pro wrestling is, but for those moments that you guys are in the ring, you guys make us forget, and we are totally engulfed in what you guys do. So it's just, I wanted to definitely, what more appropriate place is there than this to express how much I have much respect for all pro wrestlers and the genre in general. Can we give it up for pro wrestling?
Amen.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man.
And Teasy quiet about it, but in this list of things that I'm about to name that we got coming out,
yes, sir,
we got something special.
Yes, sir, we cooking, bro.
We cooking.
Now look. When I hit you up and you was like, yo, man, we had a conversation. He was like, yeah, I want to work with you on something, bro. I was like, yeah, let's get to work. Because the thing about it is, man, with somebody like yourself and the same way of him, the way I look at it, of him having like a Sammy Callahan, somebody like that, you've reached a level and you've reached a level of and are a certain level of lyricist that I feel like that, it's like working with someone not only to make you better, but to also somebody like a dream thing. So for me to be able to say that we've passed records back and forth, just for the fact that that's happened for me and that feeling of that, I feel like I'm finally feel like my journey in this music journey is finally reaching its point of where I finally feel like I'm getting you work so hard, you feel like you get the blessings that you deserve. I finally feel like all this is finally starting to come.
It's culminating.
After all these years of all this hard work, to be able to call you on the phone, Juice from the Flapper Zombies on the phone, Mickey Fax, just to talk to you guys, just have conversations with you guys. That means a lot. And a lot of it has to do with positive of us connected energies and our blessings coming together. Yep. And a lot of it having to do as well of just me not being afraid to wait for my time. And I'm blessed to be able to have the fact that we are collaborating on this EP. It means a lot to me that we're able to do this, that we're able to share this, that we're able to share this together, to be able to be the fact that I'm working with my brother here on music, to be able to know that all this stuff is culminating for myself. It's an honor and it's a blessing. So first, thank you for that, and thank you for being humble enough to do that. So thank you.
Man, come on. Wow. Well, I'm truly humbled by that. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's an honor, and everything happens for a reason. And y'all, we got me and Teasy got an EP coming out. We can name it War, right?
Yes.
War is
wrestling, ambition, and respect.
Absolutely. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Also, out right now, I have a project, SOS Part 1. Mm-hmm. It was the first project released on my label, All Varsity Music Group. And please go stream that, run them numbers up. But also we got
code is my joint on there.
Thank you so much, man. And so we got a Nas inspired mixtape, Best in the World, the end tape, probably coming in April. After that, SOS Part 2. Then come here real quick, get you some camera time, Ace. Yeah. We got my young artist Ace Gabbana. I produced. This is my first time. Oh yeah, make some noise for Ace Gabbana.
What up? What it do?
This is my first time like on my own producing and executive producing younger artists, and he's from Flint, Michigan, and really takes you back to this generation, giving you that Outcast Dungeon Family type vibe. You know what I'm saying? But for this generation, you know what I'm saying? And he born and raised in Flint, Michigan. Ace Gabbana, Moonwater is the name of the project. It's on the way. I think he did an amazing job with it. Me and the legendary KLC from Beast by the Pound, who it's funny you mentioned Move by Ludacris, who produced that for Ludacris. He produced Make 'Em Say he produced like just a lot of big classic South records, and me and him are doing a 9-song EP together that's also coming out called 24.
God, you busy. Dude.
Yeah, man. And
there's a lot of that's a lot of rapping.
I'm sorry, I don't want to bore y'all. I'm just trying to get it all in. Like you know what I'm saying? So we also got with SOS Part 2, it's SOS Part 2, The Road to Legendary. The Road to Legendary is a 5-part docuseries that we got coming out, which shows my entire journey from me rapping in high school and battling in the hallways to you actually see the first time I rapped for Dr. Dre on the documentary. Ooh. Like all of that's in there. Like one thing I did, ever since I was a kid was I always made sure I had a camera rolling, because you never know. Everything is content. Everything's going to be history one day. So, am I forgetting anything, Steve? SOS 2, the Nas tape, Ace, Road to Legendary.
You got the mixtape with Cuz.
Oh, see, we got a lot. Like it's a lot of stuff.
I love to see it.
So thank y'all for letting me plug that. And like I said, me and Teasy's project. Oh yeah, me and Ace Gabbana, we got a group album together. It's
called God. Dude, by the time you're done with this, there's not gonna be no word in the dictionary.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, ain't enough words.
It take us a year, bro. I don't know how you doing this, bro.
Man, I appreciate y'all saying that, man. We just, we went through a time period where I wasn't able to release music as consistently as I would have liked to. So for me I call myself the people's rapper, right? And I want to give back to the people for allowing me to live my dream. Like I said, my mother told me, make sure you do something for a living that you're passionate about, right? So music is art. No, it could be people out there that never listen to my music. So I'm grateful that the people that are fans of mine are fans of mine. So I feel like I owe them. I feel like I owe them to repay them for allowing me to live my dream. So the way that I repay them is to keep consistently and continuing to give them music, give them content, and to help get them through their days, get them through that job that they hate. You know what I'm saying? It might be a doctor that having a bad day. He on his way to work and listening to a Jon Connor song might help him get that positive energy to make that surgery go well. You feel me?
Save a life.
You feel me? Me
Yes.
putting a documentary about my life might be the thing that some young inner city kid need to see that let them know that they can do it. So it's like, for me, it's not about the money. It's not about none of that. With me, it's about the love for the people that are having love for me and expressing that by supporting my music and my craft. So I appreciate y'all. Like I say,
Absolutely.
and I appreciate that. So that's everything I have to promote. But now we're going to leave on this note, though, right? All right. We might need a drum roll for this. Let me see if y'all allow me. If y'all, I will never ever get a chance to flex this knowledge anywhere else where it will matter. I feel like I can name the location of every WrestleMania in order.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
All right. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up.
All right. I think that's
You ready?
I will put my money that he can do it.
Y'all, because this is Swerve City Podcast. Wrestling fans, we in the building.
Get out of here.
It's so much.
37 of them.
It's so many.
I'm like a dude from The Wire. I'm like,
Listen, it's so much ridiculous wrestling knowledge I have that I don't know where else this information would ever be able to come up.
you got it up, Mike?
You feel me? You ready?
He's got it. He's
Let's
got
go.
it.
Let's get it.
WrestleMania 1, Madison Square Garden, New York City. Right? WrestleMania 2 had the distinction of being from 3 locations.
Yep. Yeah, I was about to say.
Chicago, Los Angeles, New York.
Yep.
WrestleMania 3, the Pontiac Silverdome in my home state of Michigan. WrestleMania 4 and 5, New Jersey.
Yes.
Trump Plaza and Casino.
Yep.
WrestleMania 6, Toronto Skydome. WrestleMania 7 was supposed to be at the Los Angeles Coliseum, but it ended up being at another arena in Los Angeles still, correct?
LA Sports.
LA Sports Arena.
Come on, champ.
All right.
So, yep.
WrestleMania 8,
Come on, champ.
Indianapolis, Indiana, the Hoosier Dome.
Yes.
WrestleMania 9, Las Vegas, Nevada. Right? The largest toga party. Don't play.
Quiet over there.
Don't play. You feel me? WrestleMania 10. We went back to Madison Square Garden. All right. WrestleMania 11 was in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yes, sir.
Come on, stop playing with me. WrestleMania 12, Anaheim, California, at the Pond.
Yep.
WrestleMania 13 was in Chicago.
Yes.
All right. WrestleMania 14 was in Boston.
Come on now.
WrestleMania 15, Philly.
Yep.
WrestleMania 16, we back in Anaheim. WrestleMania 17, Houston, Astrodome.
It's not a game.
WrestleMania 18, we back in Toronto.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 19, we are in Seattle, Washington. Come on. WrestleMania 20, we back at the Garden.
Where it all began.
Where it all began. WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania win Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
This guy.
WrestleMania 22, we are back in the Shy. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. WrestleMania 23, I was there. My first WrestleMania appearance. It was in Detroit, Michigan. All right.
I've seen it with the Pontiac.
You feel me? Okay. Yeah, with the Pontiac. Okay. We are at 24. That was my second WrestleMania appearance. It was in Florida. Am I right?
You right.
Okay. 25, we in Texas.
Yep.
26, we in Arizona.
Yes.
27, we in Atlanta. Atlanta. 28. Hold up. It's starting to get weird. Okay, wait, no. 28. 28, that's the first Cena Rock, correct? So that would be Miami, Florida. After that was Cena Rock 2. We in New York, New Jersey.
Yep, the bridge.
Okay.
Come on, man.
WrestleMania 30. That was my third WrestleMania appearance. We in New Orleans. The streak is over. You know what I'm saying? WrestleMania 31. What is that? My fourth WrestleMania appearance? That was in the Bay. That was in California.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a press play.
Right, it was the press play joint. It was silver and red. I was there for that.
Yep.
That was when
Cash-in.
the cash in Seth Rollins, but
cash-in.
also the moment that brought me to my feet was when Seth Rollins was about to curb stump Randy Orton, and he RKO'd him out the. Come on, man. We at 31.
That was 31.
Okay,
Now-
32. I was also at 32.
I was at 32.
32. Oh, that was the big one in Texas.
Dallas.
Yep, that was
AT&T.
Dallas at AT&T.
Yep.
Okay, 32, 33. We back in New Orleans.
Wait. Think real clear.
Think-
Real clear.
Cause it's you was there. Yeah. We in Florida again.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I'm
Orlando.
sorry, I jumped the gun. We was back in Orlando because
Yeah.
that was when y'all was there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Do I still get the point?
Yeah.
We-
I wrestled
okay.
Ricochet that weekend.
Very dope.
Yeah.
So okay, after that, we back in New Orleans.
Yes.
Okay, so what am I at? 34?
That was 34.
35. I was so mad. Kofi Mania. I didn't go. I wasn't there to see it. And that was New York, New Jersey.
Yes.
And then
That was
that
a
would bring
miserable
us
weekend.
to the 2-day extravaganza, which was WrestleMania 36 at the Performance Center at what do you call it? the
CWC?
Thunderdome? Is that-
It became the Thunderdome.
It became the
but
Thunderdome?
This was CWC.
CWC.
Performance
so
Center.
at the Performance Center, and that would bring us to now Tampa WrestleMania 37. Do I get it? Do I get it?
Yes, sir. Come on now.
Did it?
Look at
You
that.
know what? He gonna make the discos. I'm going.
You feel me? And on that note,
Yo, what?
Triple H gonna see this footage. I'm like, hey, boss, Mr. Boss Man. Hey, we got a good fan right here.
Yo.
You gotta see this.
that's how much I love this industry. That's how much respect I have for it. Like I say,
Out of here, dude.
yeah, that's how much love I have for pro wrestling, WWE. I've been watching it. Like I say, it takes me back to me and my father, him sitting me on his lap as a baby, watching Hogan and Andre the Giant. Like, I really have so much respect. Much love to Swerve City. Much love to Teasy and Swerve. Much love to the whole WWE, the network. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe. $9.99. I'm doing promo for it right now. But it's all love, and that's how much love I got for this business. And that's cool. I never got a chance to flex that before, so that was super cool.
Culture. And on that note, be confident in everything you do.
Know your WrestleManias.
And do your homework.
Golly.
Money. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.